at my power plant. In America, we have this mythical place called Lake Wobegon. It doesn't exist on the map, but it's a place where all the women are strong, all the men are handsome, and all the children are smarter than average. Think about that. And wherever I go around the world, I hear people saying, well, my nuclear plant, these people are better than average. I've never gone to a site where the people in the town said, oh no, mine's worse than average. So the people in the towns are firmly convinced that because these people are nice, because they are safety conscious, that their nuke is not going to have an accident. But history shows we've had 5 meltdowns in 35 years with nice people, brilliant people, safety conscious people at the controls. I have a saying, sooner or later, I think nuclear fits this really well, sooner or later, in any foolproof system, the fools are going to exceed the proofs. And that's nuclear. So that's clean, no. Safe, no. Reliable. Dr. Mark Cooper and Michael have clearly shown that nuclear power plants are really not as reliable as policymakers would have you believe. When they make decisions going forward, they believe that a nuclear power plant will run about 93% of the year. But that number has been fudged because every time a nuclear power plant fails, they take it out of the database. So it's sort of like saying the average American is 100, because if you don't get to 100, we'll take you out of the database. In fact, when you look at all of the nuclear plants that have failed in the United States, the actual reliability of a nuclear plant is less than 80%, according to Dr. Mark Cooper. And policymakers believe nuclear plants will run for 60 years, when in fact the oldest nuclear plant is about 48 years right now, and that they'll run at 92%. So, and of course Japan lost 35% of its capacity, 54 nuclear plants, and still continue to function as a society. Yes, there were hardships, but they got through without nuclear. So it can be done. This is a technology that is really not reliable. And I've met with Naoto Kan, I've read Gorbachev's memoirs, we all know about Merkel, and 3 other prime ministers in Japan have all said this is a technology that can destroy the fabric of a country overnight. So it's not clean, it's not safe, and it's really not reliable. Then why then are policymakers continuing to pursue this nuclear road? And I would submit to you that it's because they can't envision a different future. They're trapped in a 20th century paradigm of central station power. And the 21st century does not have to be like the 20th century. It can be different, and in fact, Michael's numbers show it will be different. We will have a distributed grid with small generators and battery storage that will be cheaper than nuclear power. So I submit to you at the end of this conference, we should probably say, yes, I'm against mining and I'm against waste abandonment, and I'd love to shut nuclear power plants down. But if that's what we're saying, policymakers' eyes will glaze over and they'll say, well, what are you going to do without it? So we all need to take the opposite approach here and talk about a future that can be nuclear free and be inexpensive as well. The actual cost of solar voltaic plus storage, Elon Musk, the guy who built Tesla, is now, he now believes that, and SpaceX and a whole bunch of other things, smart guy, is now getting batteries